I'm actually doing the first portion of this video over again because I didn't have audio on. I don't know. The first part didn't take audio. So I figured I'll do it again. Now my voice is a little more hoarse now, so I'm hoping that you can understand me. And I'm just gonna briefly go through this. I was creating a card, and Crafter's Companion has a box card die. I don't have it, so I wanted to create my own. I have a Spellbinders one, but it's pretty small, and I just wanted to have a bigger size card. So what I did was I went to images, I put down box card. Oops. And I selected the first one that came out. Add to canvas. All I did was a couple of modifications to make this the size I wanted. The first thing I did was I ungrouped it, and I ungrouped it to separate this because once I send it to run, this it may say that the image is too big, so I just separated it. Either way, you're gonna have to size them equally. So I wanted this to be bigger. I want this to be 3.5. So I just took it and made it bigger. And I just measured it out here. There was really no rhyme or reason. Wow, that's pretty spot on. Just gonna bring it a little bit smaller. And I think we should be good to go. So that was the size that I wanted. Now I can push this to the side. These, I wanted to have different layers. So I wanted this as one layer, and I wanted another layer on top. So what I did was I duplicated it. And then you can come here and contour, and you could get rid of 2 of these because you only need the one. And we're gonna go ahead and place this one on top, and then we're gonna size it to make it a little smaller. So we can have another layer, something like that. And then we will make this one in blue just to make a difference. And we could duplicate that and make 3 of them because we're gonna need 3. So now we have this done. Let's group this and push it to the side. I am gonna duplicate one more of these. So we have this in place. Now the reason I did this is because I also want a sentiment. And to make that sentiment, I'm going to duplicate it again. And I'm going to flip that one. Let's make sure it flips. Okay. Now I'm going to align these together. I'm going to align it at the center, and I'm going to slice them. So now we have that. Let's delete these. And of course, I want these to be a little bit smaller as well. Now, this one is going to be where I stamp my sentiment. So I'm going to put that one in white. And it'll go over these. So we'll have something like that. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. And when you're done, you should be able to layer these and group fairly easy once you cut them out. So it's going to look something like that. So then for this part, all I did was make one bigger piece. And then I did an outline. I did an offset. apply. So then we would have that, but of course I extended it down, which you really didn't need to. You could probably have done it halfway. I did it all the way down though to provide some stability. Anywho, after that I send this whole all of it down to cut, and then now I'll proceed with the video. And again, I'm sorry about that. It was the other part explained it a little better, but there was no audio, so I just figured I'd redo it. And if you guys have any questions, just leave a comment and I'll just make a video, a slow video with this part. And then you can have the option of making any of your dies into a box card. I mean, the Crafter's Companion does really cute dies to create a scene, and you can use them in different ways. Everything is cut, and I know this is similar to the card that I made using the Nativity set. And that's because it is going to be the same style. I mean, you would think that I would go ahead and use that one just to make things different. But I wanted to show that you can actually use these cards in different ways. So I'm going to make it into the box card. But I'm not even going to get to this yet. What we're going to start off doing is gluing all these pieces down. This is going to be the inside of our box. So these guys would go here. And so far, I'm not going to mat anything. I mean, pop anything up, because there are going to be so many layers already that it could be too much. And then I'm going to glue all these here, because when they fold down, they're gonna go the other way. And then I did these out of a pearlescent cardstock, and those will go on top. Now these are the ones I said that maybe if you had a folder, an embossing folder that had either stars or something pretty, or maybe some of these starbursts, you could go ahead and emboss 2 of them and just leave the center flap with your sentiment, which will go here. But either way, I cut plenty of these just in case I change my mind and I just want to do sentiments on all of them. Okay, so we're gonna start gluing those down, and I'm gonna go off of camera to glue the first layer just to rest my voice so I don't lose it totally, and we could finish this video. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what we have. I scored these down a little bit so that we can glue our box together, and that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna put some glue here, and you can always just fold this on each other and you'll get more of an even glue. So then when we open it, here's our box. Okay, so these pieces, they go glued inside here, and that's where we can go ahead and glue all our characters on top of. So I'm going to start gluing these in. And just press that down. Give it a second. And we can lift that up. And then we're just going to do that 2 more times, and then we could continue on with our card. I'll be right back. Okay, so everything is glued in, and this is where I would add my sentiment. And then we have a nice background. And then what I was planning on doing is taking several of these, if I could pull them out. Okay, let's see. Okay. Whew. So I figure we could take several of these dies and just cut them and just create a background here. So we can put this one here. That's the one. We could put this one there. And of course, this one we could put a little higher. And then we can cut this out and just cut it in half and just to do 2 layers and finish it off with the star. That's the idea. We'll see how it goes. But I just have to decide what colors I'm gonna cut them out. It would be great if I was to cut it out and just piece colors together, but I think I want to stick with a similar look, which is just either gold or white cardstock. I may do gold in different colors going back. We'll see. So that's what we have so far, and I'll decide what we're gonna cut, and then I'll come right back. Okay, so I had to take like a pretty big pause because my voice had totally gone. Had to give it a little bit of time to come back, and I tried coloring the die cuts, and I like the way it looks, so we're gonna do this one. And I'm gonna start off with the brown, and we're gonna do the tree. And I know you can barely see it, but I have it on top of another piece of paper just so it could suck up any excess. Okay. Now we're just gonna add some colors. And I'm not going to do a lot of details. As you can see, I didn't color their faces in. I mean, I just colored it a plain color, nothing. Okay. So we have that. And we can also color his staff in. Oops. Okay. And we'll color his hand while we're there. Okay. Let's see. Get a little bit of his leg. I've seen some people do this, like put it all dark, but I don't think there were boots at that time. So we're just gonna do that. And then we'll do his I guess in a coral shade because it's close to red, but I didn't want to do it the same red. So I'm gonna go with the lightest color. Okay. And it's all just about shading all this in. Go with our mid-tone. And back with our light color. Now we're gonna color in our donkey. Let's do it this color. Okay. Everything looks a hot mess. But it's okay. You know, I'm gonna find another brown tone. And let's use the light one for this one. This one is kind of drying out. I've used it so much. Now we can add some more color. We'll just keep coloring it in. I can add some of this color if I want. I actually think this one blends better. So let's just blend it all. Okay, so that's done. And this is gonna fall behind here. So I think we'll be okay. Doesn't have to come out perfect. It's just the illusion of everything. And then we're gonna just outline our sheep. I'm really not gonna color him in. Just give it a little bit of shading. And if you want, you could come in with your blender pen and just blend that out a little bit. Yeah, the blender pen is an eraser, but if you use it very little, you can actually blend your color out and you won't have to add a second color to it. I'm gonna add more gray just because I don't want it to look too white. And then we can go ahead and saturate it a little more with our blender pen. Okay. So we're gonna need green for our palm. I'm not gonna do a lot of definition on this. I'm not gonna do lines. I'm just gonna color it in and just shade it. And see, when you're coloring the stuff like this, it's best to have a paper underneath because it can create quite a mess. Okay. We're gonna shade some parts now. Okay, let's go with our midtone. And we can start blending that out. And once this is done, you can just go back and add color where you need it. Because it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna look messy for a little bit until you keep blending and getting those colors to soften up just a little bit. Let's go back in with our mid-tone. And we'll just blend those out again. And it's good when the paper is really nice and saturated. The colors tend to play nice together. They'll blend much better than they would. So put it over here so you can see a little more. And then you could just let it dry when you're okay with it. And if needed, you can come back and add more color. Okay. So we're gonna color his face in, and then we'll do his hair, which I think I'm gonna do his hair gray. And we'll just, well, actually, I think we should do his hair first. And then we could just take a light color and just color his face. Again, it's everything is just giving an illusion of, I know it looks super bright there, but it's really not. I could probably come in with just a little bit of blend that out. Maybe that looks better. Okay, so we have those two pieces done, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut out this in black and then our star in gold, and I'm also gonna glue some gold behind there, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have everything colored and I have everything cut out, and now we're just gonna figure out where we're going to place everything. So you can see things more or less, but of course it's not going to be perfect. The only one I want centered is this one. So I'm going to start by gluing that one in just to make sure that it doesn't move anywhere. And just making sure it's even. So that's our first piece. And we're just straighten that out just a little bit. Let's see now. Much better. Okay. Next we're gonna cut this closer and then trim this down. And we're gonna put him all the way to the corner. I don't want it too high because I want the buildings in the back to show as well. So it just looks like they're right behind the Nativity. So we have that so far. Okay. Now we have our city scene. Now, to me, this one should go in the front because the palm tree is going to look bigger. And then this one should go in the back. So I'm just going to cut this in half. And then we could see where we're going to place these guys. So, of course, we want it a little bit higher so it can be seen. And then the final piece would go just about there. So let's glue this piece down first. And then we're gonna hold it in place. Now I put it more towards that side. Since this one I put more towards the right, I put the other one towards the left. So you could barely see the little town, but it's there. And that's because I want to be able to lift the back one up more. So we're gonna go ahead and glue that one flat, and then I think we'll be good to go. And we should still have space to put our little star up. This part really doesn't matter to me how much of it shows. It's just, you know, you're just giving the illusion of a scene. So we're just gonna add it and maybe lift it up just a little bit. Kind of like there. And let's squeeze that one down. Any excess glue will disappear later. And then we're gonna put our star. Okay. So we have our star in place. And we have our city in the back that just kind of blends away. And then we have our nativity scene. Now, if you wanted to, you can add some more palm trees to the front. I think that will look cute, or maybe cut a little bit more of the animals and add them to the sides here. I think that will look cute too. But I'm gonna leave it as is for now because I want to work on the sentiment. So I'm gonna get that ready and then I'll be right back. Okay, I have my embossing pad, I have my embossing powder, and I have a gold ink. I'm gonna emboss it in gold, but I'm gonna use a gold ink underneath just in case the embossing powder misses anything. It's still gold. And I put a paper underneath to catch the embossing powder. So we're gonna use our pad. Make sure that nothing sticks where it's not supposed to. And then we're gonna start inking this up. This, it might take a couple of times before it really takes a good inking. I'm not sure why, but every time I use this, I have to stamp it quite a few times. I think one more time and we should be good. And I'm gonna open this up before I remove it so we don't have a lot of dry time. And then I'm gonna sprinkle it with our embossing powder. Let's give that a second. And then I'll peel off this tape. So this is what we have, and we can now go ahead and emboss it and make sure we don't have anything extra. If you have a paintbrush, let's see where mine's is, you could go ahead and remove all the excess with a paintbrush. I just don't know where mine's is right now. So I'm just going to put this to the side, clean it up, and then we can emboss it. I kind of like the fact that you can use these dies to make other types of cards, not just the one that you see in their pictures. Just these. It's kind of neat. I'm gonna find my embossing gun and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my embossing tool and I'm just gonna apply heat to this. Now, when you're gonna emboss, you heat it until it turns color and then you move on. Okay, so I think we're good there. I'll double check it. I'll even run my fingers on it and it's not moving, so I think we're good. So this is our sentiment and we're just going to place that here. Now you can put some foam tape underneath if you want. I'm not, because there's a lot of layers going on. You know what, I'm going to heat it up just a little bit more. Okay, I think now we're good. Okay, so we're going to add some glue to the back. And we're adding plenty of it. And then we're going to just put that guy right there. Okay, so there's our sentiment. Now, if you wanted to, you could go ahead and add some gems to this. Maybe some, let's see if I have some close by. Not those. You know, isn't it like it that every time you want to use something, you can't find it? I had them yesterday. Anyway, I'll look in this mess and see where they're at. I'll be right back. Okay, so I found them. I don't have any more of the small ones. I only have the medium size, but just to show you how you can do this, you can always add these to all four sides. And it kind of makes it look like there's a brad there holding it in. Or you can use brads if you want. So I'm just going to put them on. I would have much rather been the small ones, but it is what it is. Oops. Okay, so this is our card. We have the Bethlehem in the background. And then if you were to mail it, you would need a really big envelope. I think you would need like an 8x8 envelope. You would have to make it yourself, but it is pretty. And I could have made it smaller, at least half an inch smaller, but I wanted to try a big box just because I always play it safe and do the smaller one. So I wanted to try it. So this is our card. And it was done using the Nativity light set that is made to make a pop-up card, but we used it a little bit different this time. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. I hope you were able to understand me. If you have any questions about the box, once I get my voice back, I'll slow the video down. Again, I didn't want to totally lose my voice, but this is it. I like it. It's pretty cool. And I like the fact that you can go ahead and just use your markers and color it in. I would add more little animals around and maybe another palm tree somewhere. But like I said, all in all, it's pretty cute. I hope this helps if you want to make a different type of card. I'll talk to you later, okay? Bye.